This topic is about networking and the power of networking. I'm a firm believer that who you know matters more than what you know. It's the people who you know, the connections is extremely important. And in order to make those connections, you must take a piece of paper like this and write down who are the people that you would like to meet. Write down who are the people that you would like to meet. When you write that down, and start taking that a little effort to contact these people. You will notice, much to your surprise, that all the people's names that you think are really big names, you'll be surprised that they are easily available, contactable online. I'll give you an example that happened to me, a real life incident. I'll finish with the real life incident, then I'll let you speak. I run a podcast show. So my website is kiruba.com. I also have a podcast site called kiruba.tv. I'm very passionate about meeting people and interviewing them. So I was talking to this friend. I was telling him that I'd like to interview Jimmy Wales. Do you know who Jimmy Wales is? The founder of Wikipedia. And the guy laughed. No way are you going to meet Jimmy Wales. So I wrote him an email. I Googled, found out, got him through LinkedIn actually, and I sent him and in my place I told him that, listen, I'm running the show, I'd like to interview you. In 2 hours he replies back, that sounds good, by the way, I'm visiting Chennai. Really? Awesome. So I replied back saying that, that's great, where are you staying? If you're staying in a hotel, don't. Listen, I have an extra bedroom. Why don't you come and stay at my house? And he replies back, thank you so much. And he stayed at my house for 3 days. Yeah. I think the most important lesson that I've learned out of that experience is, number one, the person who's stopping us from doing things is ourselves. All you need to do is just ask.
First one is all the achievers around the world, they are very clear in what they want to do in their life. They have figured out what we call as the bucket list, the things that they want to achieve before they die. And having that clarity of vision of what they want to achieve really spells the way how they will conduct the rest of their life. And once we have that clarity on what we want to do, it really changes our entire perspective on how we live our day-to-day life. So my request to you is, ask yourself, do you have a bucket list? If not, can you write one? Can you list down all the things that you want to do before you die?
All thought leaders who've been extremely successful, and the topic is about turning communication into commerce, and these are some of the thought leaders who've really mastered the art of being excellent in their field, and that's directly converted that into a business opportunity, are all people who have picked up a niche, a small area, but they have dug deep and they've become wonderful at that. One of the examples that I really find is this lady in North Carolina who runs a blog called the Cupcake Blog. When you get a chance, when you go home, try Google around for Cupcake Blog or just go to cupcakeblog.com. If you go to that particular site, she does not write about cooking. No, sir. She does not write about baking. Nope. She writes only about baking cupcakes. Day in and day out, different forms of cupcakes. And she has over 2 million views a month for her site. She signed up 2 book deals. She runs a TV show. amazing how when you pick up one niche area and you drill deep, go in depth, that's a fantastic way to build yourself as a thought leader. How many of you have your own website? Okay? Just be very bold and raise your hands confidently. So let me count. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5. Sorry, you were scratching your head. I didn't notice. Okay. So 6 people. And what potentially is probably about 300 plus audience out here. And let me tell you right away itself, those 6 people have already overtaken the rest of you when it comes to professionalism. Those 6 people, if I were to use a cricket analogy, have put on their IPL jerseys, are playing with a white leather ball, with their pads, and with a solid bat. And they walk into the crowd like truly professionals, while the rest of us are wearing boxer shorts, t-shirt, bathroom slippers, and having your cycle wheel as the stump, and having a bat with a tennis ball. That's the difference. You need to be seen professionally, and the simplest way for you to get started is by giving yourself a solid presence online. The power of giving away your knowledge. And I think it's the same lesson for us. Each one of us should start to take that lesson from TED, and even from a guy like this guy, Frederick Harren, a Swedish speaker now settled in Singapore, is a classic example of how to build a brand. He's one of the top 20 speakers in the world. No support staff. He's a single-man company. People pay his average speaking fee, like the time that I'm taking right now, you can't book him under $20,000 US. He has gone to 64 countries, and last year alone, he spoke in about 25 countries around the world. And how did he do it? First, I'll tell you, before telling how did he do it, let me tell you what happened because what he did. Take a look at this. He owns 3 islands, a single guy. His entire job is just to speak professionally on stage. 2 islands in Sweden and 1 island in Philippines. And the beautiful thing how he did it, he gives away all his knowledge. He has this site called professionalspeaking.com, and he tells the world how can you become a professional speaker, how can you travel the world around, and how can you make money. Just being effusively benevolent in sharing his knowledge and the wisdom to others. And like they say, it'll all come back with multitudes. And now he's very, very, very successful. It was about a 1.5-minute video where it was about Siddharth. And this video was actually made by by your friend, right? You and your friend got together and did this short video. And it really talks about how about how he goes and meets Dr. Kalam. So it has a few pictures, it adds out there. It's also a video where he actually thanks his dad and mom. It's a very touching video, really. And I remember I saw this video, and the minute after that, I go to his Facebook page, find his phone number, and I give him a call, saying that I'd like to meet up with you. There was also the time my daughter was launching her second book. I said, you know what, Sid, I want you to come and launch the book and speak at the event. He had people eating out of his hand. I invited him to TEDx Chennai, and in his own words, Sid says that's been a turning point. And ever since, he kind of gets a little inundated with speaking opportunity. And that's also the reason why he came and spoke here at at Latitude. But let me tell you this: if that 1.5-minute video was not there, I don't think none of us would have had the privilege of listening to Sid. I think it's extremely important for us to tell our stories. extremely important for us to share our views, our opinions. So let me tell you this. I have 0 sales guys in my company. 0. You know how sales happen? Most of it happens through word of mouth. And that's the business that we are in, helping companies make the most out of word of mouth. And I've realized that it's important for you to just go meet people. You have to be outgoing. For example, when you step out, ask yourself, how many of those 10 speakers or so that are out there, how many business cards have you collected from these speakers? If you don't have business cards, you're making a mistake. Once you pick up those business cards and walk out, how many of them will you keep in touch? If you don't do that, you're making a mistake. You know, one of the best lessons that I've learned is from my previous boss. I used to be an associate director in a company called Suleka.com, and the CEO, Satya Prabhakar. Awesome CEO. For me, it was like doing an MBA. You know what he does? When he takes the morning paper, he comes home, has his coffee and picks up his newspaper and reads. As he's reading, when he finds out a technology news item, he reads that technology news and finds out who's the person who wrote it. If it is Shilpa Krishnan, he will actually go online, search for Shilpa Krishnan, find out that email ID, the contact details, and he will note it down. So he has this big database, and so he adds it to that Excel sheet. And if he genuinely finds that article interesting, he'll actually send a word of appreciation. So likewise, he's got a fantastic list of business journalist contacts. And next time he launches a product or announces a major decision, he writes a personalized mail to each one of those people. And he gets better press coverage than any other company who pays 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs per month to a PR agency. Isn't that amazing? Just very simple. Every day you spend not more than 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes at the max, but it does you tremendous. These are people skills.
You build that relationship by giving, not by being selfish and looking at what can I benefit from it. I think the giver's mindset of openly going and being beneficial to the other person, helping them out without so much as expecting something back in return, not making the relationship very transactional. So trust me, the more you help and more you generously give and serve, karma comes back to you in very good ways, and they multiply. One of the things that I've realized very early in my life is that people are respected for the things they do, not necessarily for the things they consume. So let me give you a couple of examples. There is really no award for watching movies. However, there is Oscar awards for people who make movies. There's no award for listening to X number of songs, but there are Grammys given to great creators. There are no awards for reading books, but there's the Bookers of the World awards for authors. So clearly, the world respects doers or creators, right?
One life lesson that he said, I will take it to my grave, I will always take it to my grave, is anything that you do, think of a stool. Did I tell you this before? Think of a stool. If a stool had 1 leg, it will fall down. If it had 2, it will still fall down. If it had 3, it will stand up. 4, even better. So anything that you do, right now, I'm talking to you. And I insisted my talk be recorded. This entire talk, maybe about half hour, will get broken up into 5-minute segment. It will be uploaded on YouTube. Those will be part of my podcast. What I talk right now, the contents of this will be made into a series of blog posts. I will expand, I will collate these blog posts together, I will expand, I will publish a small ebook. These are things that I will do. And those are 3 things. And Rajesh Sethi, my mentor, says, if you have 3 things, 3 reasons why you want to do it, it will give you enough motivation for you to go and actually do it. So think of a stool before you do any task.